It's 5 o'clock on Tuesday, and I've just finished putting up the signs for my exhibit here at the Mancuso's Mid-Atlantic Quilt Festival in Hampton, Virginia. This is one of the oldest pieces that I've got on display. Its name is Beige Gauche Warrior, and it's a portrait of a guy whose photo I took in 1982. It took a long time, until 2004, for me to have the skill to put this together. I used Hollis's dye painting technique, but then I have appliqued things on. I used the African fabrics that I collected in Africa. The knife is actually ultra suede with batting stuffed in it and some yarn. And I still think this is one of the best pieces I've ever made. I arranged the work more or less chronologically. The first bay is all about family, and I will be doing gallery tours on Sunday at 11:30 and 1:30 because I'm teaching Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So those are the portraits of the boys, my husband in Coach's clipboard and our younger son Eli, a self-portrait, and a few more of the very best things I've ever done. That's Yoda on the right, Paul's cat Boo when he was a juvenile delinquent. He's still something of a delinquent, but he's a lot larger. That's my beloved Pigwidgeon, who will be my muse forever, even though he has gone to the Great Kibble Bowl in the sky. And there he is at the Great Kibble Bowl in the kitchen doing the circle dance. That was for an exhibit called The Dance of Joy by Mary Kerr. I also really love this piece. This is called Earth and Turquoise, and for obvious reasons, it does not travel unless I get to hand carry it. We're now in the section that I'm calling My World. My work is about my life in Maine, and there's a saying called The Way Life Should Be, except that I miswrote it and called it The Way Life Ought to Be when I was asked for a title. But it really is the way life ought to be. The piece called The Wall, A Sense of Place, was made about 18 months after we moved to Maine, and I realized that yes, indeedy, I had absorbed Maine, I was Maine's, and Maine was mine. We have naiads with 3D leaves from 2007, same year as The Wall. This is from the Schooner Coast, 2011. That's a John Flynn quilt kit with 1 1/8 inch small pieced squares. It's a Storm at Sea with a picture of Camden Harbor. Listen to the Song in the Night, as with some of the family portraits, was for one of the Dinner at 8 exhibits. And honestly, some of my best work was in those exhibits. This one tells a story of when we heard a superpod singing off the shore from our house in Friday Harbor. Amaryllis toured in Australia and New Zealand with Brenda Gale Smith's Living Color Textiles. And Insalata celebrates a wonderful restaurant in San Anselmo, California, where I used to go with my mother. There's more of my world, and here is a peony. This is a photo from my garden. Speak Up, Speak Out, which celebrates the trip I took with my daughter-in-law. That's the two of us on the far right. That was me before I had my hair cut, and then Ashley next to me in the pigtails. The hands are traced from the people who were on the bus from Midcoast, Maine, and it has the preamble of the Constitution. And this was for the Women's March on Washington, the day after the 45th president was inaugurated. And there is Aeolia Anemoi, my 3D piece, in her debut show. I am so excited that we were able to get it hung. They had a great way to do it. She looks fantastic, and we were able to open up the curtain so people can really walk around her and get a good view from all sides. The Wind Blows the Winter In is named after the lyrics from a favorite song called The Dutchman by sung by Tommy Makem and Liam Clancy. And I just love it. And one of my all-time favorite quilts, it's a little bit different from most of my usual, but it talks about my life, and it's called Descended from the Stars, and was inspired by a paragraph written by Mirza Khan, who's the director of religious studies at San Domenico School, where I went from 7th grade through high school. It's a pretty phenomenal place. Thank you for sticking with me. I hope some of you will be able to come and see this, and I hope that maybe some of you will even be able to be here on Sunday as I do my gallery tours. And here is a quick walk back, going back in time to show my work. Thank you so much to the Mancusos, and especially to my regular contact, Diana Mercuri, for offering me this opportunity and the opportunity to teach for them. I'm a pretty happy camper.